Welcome friends in a lecture series of operational research. We were studying about a linear programming problem. Today we are going to learn about duality. Duality, it is the state of dual. Say there are two different ways to understand a particular linear programming problem. Here one way is given and with the example of objective function maximization type with the two decision variable and two constraint, and all decision variable are greater than or equal to 0. Duality means any problem, for any problem if the duality is present, then we can analyze the problem with two different aspect or with two different view. This is the one of the most important criteria when decision making at managerial level. So let us understand with the help of example what is the duality. Here the objective function is maximization type, maximize z equal to 6x1 plus 5x2 and there are two constraints, x1 plus x2 is less than or equal to 5, 3x1 plus 2x2 less than or equal to 12 and x1 x2 greater than or equal to 0. Let us understand the condition or hypothetical condition where these two constraints are not given. If these two constraints are not given, then we can put any value of x1 and x2, and for both this value we can get the value of z, and thus we can say the value of z, it is infinite if we put any value x1 and x2. So in this case infinite will be a upper bound or the maximum value for the maximization z. Now let us understand, if the decision constraint is given, then what will happen? Let's consider the second constraint. We will multiply the second constraint with multiplier 3. Then what we get? We get the value 9x1 plus 6x2 less than or equal to 36. Now here the compare the two equation or the two terms, 6x1 plus 5x2 and 9x1 plus 6x2. Clearly we can see that 6x1 and 5x2, 6x1 plus 5x2 is less than 9x1 plus 6x2 because 6 is less than 9 and 5 is less than 6. So here we can say 6x1 plus 5x2 is less than 9x1 plus 6x2 is less than equal to 36. So ultimately conclusion will be 9x1 plus 5x2 is less than or equal to 36. So in this case we can say the value of z is equal to 36. So this will be a upper bound when we consider the second constraint only. Now if we consider the first constraint, then when we multiply the first constraint by 6, so we get the equation 6x1 plus 6x2 less than or equal to 30. So in this case again compare these two value with the objective function 6x1 plus 6x1 both are equal, here plus 5x2 plus 6x2, here 6x2 is greater than 1. So it clearly indicates 6x1 plus 5x2 is less than or equal to 6x1 plus 6x2, but this term is already less than or equal to 30. So in this case we can say the 6x1 plus 5x2 is less than or equal to 30. So we get the another upper bound which is less than the 36 equal to 30. So we get another upper bound which is very less than this infinite or less than this 36. Now let us consider another way. We will multiply second constraint with the 2 and we will add in the first constraint. So we will multiply by 3x1 multiply by 2, 6x1 plus 1. So it will be a 7x1 plus 2x2 2 multiplied by 2, 4x2 plus 1, say 5x2 less than or equal to 12 multiplied by 2, 24 plus 5, 29. So in this case 7x1 plus 5x2 less than or equal to 29. So here again compare these two term with the objective function, then 6x1 is less than 7x1, 5x2 it is equal to 5x2. So here again we can say 6x1 plus 5x2 is less than 7x1 plus 5x2, but this term is already less than 29. So we get another value which is upper bound and which is the minimum of all this value. So here in this interpretation or in this term we can say there are any multiplier that we can multiply with this constraint. In this end we get another value, or we get the value which is less than or equal to, or which is the upper bound for this maximization case. So let us consider we will multiply the constraint number 2 and constraint number 1 with any coefficient which is must be a positive. So we will multiply this constraint number 1 by a1 and multiply the constraint number 2 by a2. Then what we get the value of which must be a here another condition is a1 and a2 that must be greater than or equal to 0. In this case only we can consider this comparison. So here if we multiply this by a1 as we have done here by 2 and then add in this equation in the third imagination or third consideration when we get the upper bound equal to 29. Here let us consider as a1, then we must get the value of a1 plus 3a2 that must be less than or equal to 6 if we consider it for x1. So here in this comparison what we get the value of x1 that must be less than or equal to 6 to get the maximum value. So here 1a1 plus 3a2 is less than or equal to 6. So for the second constraint x2 we get the value 1a1 plus 2a2, 1a1 plus 2a2 that must be less than or equal to 5 for the x2 constraint. So this is the condition where we get another value this must be a greater than or equal to type because as per this given condition the value of this must be greater than this. In this case only we can apply this as a upper bound. So here we get another condition another constraint in the form of a1 plus 3a2 like greater than or equal to 6 and a1 plus 2a2 greater than or equal to 5. If we convert this a1 and a2 by y1, then we get another equation y1 plus 3y2 greater than or equal to 6 and y1 plus twice y2 greater than or equal to 5, and we get another function which is but obvious we get the minimization. So minimization y equal to value of 5 say 5y1 plus 12y2. So we get, and again here is as per this given condition y1 and y2 that must be greater than or equal to 0. So in this case we get another interpretation or another form of linear programming of the same linear programming problem in the form of minimization case. So if we call it as a primal, then we get another interpretation of the same problem which is called as a dual. So we get two different linear programming problem for a same problem or for a same thinking for a same set of constraint. Here this is called as a primal, this is called as a dual. So this is called the duality of interpreting any one problem with the two different viewpoints. So this is called as a duality. Now let us try to understand with the help of another example. Say here this is an example what we should consider and what we have to keep in mind while converting any problem into the dual problem. So here it is given maximization z equal to x1 minus x2 plus 3x3. There are three constraints are given x1 plus x2 plus x3 less than or equal to 10, 2x1 minus x2 minus x3 less than or equal to 2, minus 2x1 plus 2x2 plus 3x3 greater than or equal to minus 6. First for the conversation of dual problem there are a number of constraints in the primal equal to the number of variable in the dual, and the vice versa also number of variable in the primal will be a number of constraint for the dual. So here there are three variable are given there are three constraints are given. So according to these three we get three variable say y1, y2 and y3. Now here if the objective function is maximization type in primal and in the dual objective function will be minimization, and vice versa also if the problem in primal is given in minimization case, then in the dual it will be a maximization case. So here maximization z will be a minimization case in the dual problem. So minimization z equal minimization y, here any other function y, minimization y equal to how many of constraint variable are there? There are 3 constraint in the primal, so in the dual that will be a 3 variable, and we will consider it a y1, y2 and y3. Now what is the constraint, what is the coefficient of this variable into the objective function? The coefficient will be a right hand side of the problem, of the constraint, or limiting value of the constraint. But here one thing we have to keep in mind, the desirable condition or the desirable sign for the variable for the maximization problem is less than or equal to type. Here one constraint is given as a greater than or equal to type. So first we will convert this problem into inequality sign of less than or equal to type. Then this problem will become 2x1 minus 2x2 minus 3x3 less than or equal to 6. We will just multiply whole inequality with minus 1. Now we will try to understand what will be the effect of this duality. Now minimization y, it is equal to 10y1, because right hand side will be a coefficient into the objective function, 10y1 plus 2y2 plus 6y3. Now subjected to constraint, the constraint will be equal to the decision variable. Here there are 3 decision variable, here again 3 constraint. First constraint is related to x1, second constraint is related to x2, third constraint is related to x3. So related to x1, first constraint will be like this, 1y1 from here plus 2y2 minus, but we will consider this constraint as a third constraint, so plus 2y3. Now if the constraint is less than or equal to type in the primal, then for the dual it will be a greater than or equal to type. So here greater than or equal to, and what will be the right hand side? Again vice versa, here the right hand side of the primal will become the coefficient in the dual, then the coefficient in the objective function will be a right hand side in the dual. So greater than equal to 1, here this is the 1. Now according to the x2 or related to x2, there are this is the second constraint, which is equal to y1. So here 1y1 minus 1y2 plus not plus, but here minus 2y3 greater than or equal to minus 1. For the third constraint, it is again 1y1, because here a coefficient is 1, minus 1y2 plus 3y3 greater than or equal to right hand side constraint is 3. And last non-negativity constraint y1, y2, y3 greater than or equal to 0. So by this way we can convert the problem given as a primal, and the converter problem is a dual. And another important theorem is here that primal, when you convert the primal into dual, and when you convert the dual into the dual, then it will again become a primal. So here you can say dual of the dual is again a primal. So any problem you can say as a primal, there is not any particular sign that what we call primal or dual, because the dual of the dual will become again primal. So let us understand what thing we have to keep in mind while solving or converting any problem into the dual of the same problem. So here the condition is given in the primal, and what will be in the dual when you convert while converting the problem into dual. So there are a number of constraints in the primal will become a number of variable into the dual. Say if there are 4 constraints here, there are 4 decision variable or simply a variable here. If and number of variables in the primal will become a number of constraint into the dual. So both are vice versa. Number of constraint in the primal will be number of variable, and number of variable in the primal will be number of constraint in the dual. Now the right hand side of constraint will be a coefficient of variable in objective function. So right hand side of the constraint will be a coefficient of variable in the objective function, and vice versa also objective function will become a right hand side, or coefficient of the variable into the objective function will become a right hand side of that of the constraint, right hand side of constraint. Then next thing is coefficient matrix A will be a transpose, say A transpose in the dual problem. Then equation type of constraint will be equation type of constraint, or related to the equation type of constraint, the variable would be will be unrestricted in sign, and vice versa also unrestricted sign variable. Then related to this unrestricted variable, the constraint will be equation type, or constraint will be a equation. So these are the fundamental rules. Now let's see about the inequality sign. Say less than or equal to constraint, and related variable to this less than or equal to constraint sign will be greater than or equal to. Then greater than or equal to constraint will be less than or equal to variable, and for the greater than or equal to type variable, it will be a greater than or equal to type constraint, and for the less than or equal to type variable, it will be a less than or equal to type constraint. So these are the rules we have to keep in mind while converting up any primal problem into the dual problem. Now let us understand with the help of another example which is given here of minimization type. So minimization z equal to x1 plus 2x2 subjected to constraint 2x1 plus 4x2 less than or equal to 160, x1 minus x2 greater equal to 30, x1 is greater than or equal to 10. Here anything is not given, so we can write as a 0x2. And last non-negativity constraint x1, x2 greater than or equal to 0. Now here consider there are two decision variable x1 and x2, so two variable. This is the primal, this is the dual. In the dual, two constraint. Here 1, 2 and 3 constraint, and in dual there will be a 3 variable. So let us understand the variable related to first constraint will be a y1, for the second constraint will be a y2, third constraint will be a y3. So there are 3 variable here, and the right hand side will be a objective function here for the constraint, and minimization type of constraint will be maximization type. So maximize z equal to y1, y2, y3. So 160 y1 plus 30 y2 plus 10 y3. We cannot do directly because here the for the minimization case, desirable sign would be a greater than or equal to sign. So here we have 3 different type of constraint. One is the less than or equal to type, another is the equal to type, and another is the greater than or equal to type. So first convert all the constraint as per our requirement of minimization case. So for the minimization case, first convert 2x1 plus multiply first constraint by minus 1, so it will be a minus 2x1 minus 4x2 greater than or equal to minus 160. So this is the constraint number 1. Now for the constraint number 2, as here it is given that x1 minus x2 equal to 30. So there can be a 2 possibility. One possibility is x1 minus x2 is greater than or equal to 30. Another possibility is x1 minus x2 is less than or equal to 30. So for this possibility we don't have any problem, but for this inequality sign we have to consider x1 minus x1 plus x2 is greater than or equal to minus 30. So we will convert, we have converted this this constraint from the less than or equal to sign to greater than or equal to sign. So this is the constraint number 1, this is the constraint number 2, this is the constraint number 3, and last constraint would be a x1 plus 0 x2 greater than or equal to 10. No need to convert or no need to do any modification, as it is already greater than or equal to sign. So here we have total 4 constraints. Again our consideration will would be different from this first one. Say variable related to constraint number 1 would be y1, variable would be a y2, variable here it is y3, and variable here it is y4. So here maximization case or maximization z equal to right hand side would be a minus 160 y1 plus 30 y2 minus 30 y3 plus 10 y4. So this is the objective function. Now related to all this variable decision variable, there are 2 constraints will be here. First constraint is from here x1, so it is 2 y1, from here 2 y1 plus y2 1 y1 minus y3 from here and plus y4, and all the constraints are greater than or equal to type. So here it will be a less than or equal to 1 here. For the second constraint, which is related to x2, would be a minus 4x2 minus 4 y1 from here minus y2 from here plus y3 from here, and here it is 0, no need to write anything, less than or equal to 2, and lastly y1 y2 y3 y4 is greater than or equal to 0. But here from this equation we can modify the problem like this. Say here if we take common as a 30, we get the equation like this. Maximize z equal to minus 160 y1 plus 30 into y2 minus y3 plus 10 y4, and same way we can do for the subjected to constraint also. Say 2y1 plus y2 minus y3 plus y4 less than or equal to 1, and minus 4y1 minus y2 minus y3 is less than or equal to 2. Here what is y2 and y3? So y2 and y3 both are greater than or equal to 0, and the difference of both two positive numbers would be anything. It may be a positive, it may be a negative, or it may be a 0 if y1 and y2 both are equal. So we can convert this two variable, or we can replace this two variable or the difference of these two variable as another variable, say y5, which is equal to y2 minus y3. Here y2 and y3 both are greater than or equal to 0, but y5 does not have any restriction. We can because according to the value of y2 and y3, value of y5 can be anything. It may be a 0 if both are equal, it may be positive if y2 is greater than y3, and it may be a negative if y2 is less than y3. So here we can say y5 is unrestricted in sign, unrestricted in sign. So here we can convert all this problem as a maximize, sorry here not z, it is y, because it is a dual problem. Maximize y equal to minus 160 y1 plus 30 y5 plus 10 y4, and subjected to constraint 2y1 plus y5 plus y4 greater than less than or equal to 1. Sorry, here both are less than or equal to 1. Okay, less than or equal to 1 here, and second constraint is minus 4y1 minus y5 less than or equal to 2, and here y1 and y4 is greater than or equal to 0 and y5 is unrestricted in sign, because value of y5 can be anything as per the value of y2 and y3. So in this case, our original problem the second constraint which is x1 minus x2 equal to 30. So according to this second constraint, the variable y5 which is unrestricted in sign, and vice versa also. If any problem or any primal contain any variable with unrestricted in sign, then a related constraint would be a equal equation or equality sign of equality type of constraint in the dual. So this is the problem of duality. Now let us try to understand another problem which is given here with two variable are unrestricted in sign. So maximize z equal to 3x1 plus x2 plus 2x3 minus x4 subjected to constraint 2x1 minus x2 plus 3xt plus x4 equal to 1, x1 plus x2 minus x3 plus x4 equal to 3. So here both constraint are equation type. So related constraint, related variables. So here let's say y1, here let's say y2. So both will be unrestricted as we have seen in the previous problem. So y1 and y2 both are unrestricted in the dual problem, and here there are two constraint, two variable x2 and x3 are unrestricted in sign. So the constraint related to x3 and x4 would be a equation type of constraint. So let us consider maximization case. So in the dual it will be a minimization y equal to now the number of constraint number of variable is 2 here, and the coefficient will be a 1. So here 1 y1 plus 3 y2 now subjected to constraint. So here the constraint would be a 4, because in the primal there are 4 variable. So first constraint would be related to x1, second would be related to x2, third will be related to x3, and fourth will be related to x4. So there are 4 constraint will be in the dual. So related to x1 it will be a constraint which is equal to 2y1 plus y2. 2y1 plus y2 it is greater than or equal to 3 here, and x1 is greater than or equal to 0. So greater than or equal to 0, then the constraint would be a greater than or equal to 0 as per we have seen in the rules of converting to primal into dual. Then second constraint of the related to x1 which is equal to minus of y1, because here it is minus 1 plus y2 which is again greater than or equal to 1 as per the given here. Now for the constraint related to x3 or the variable x3, it would be a 3y1 here minus x3, so minus y2 only 1, but here x3 is unrestricted into sign. So when the variable is unrestricted in sign, the related constraint would be a equation. So here it will be a equal to sign equal to 2, and for the x4 it will be a y1 plus y2. Again here x4 is unrestricted, so related constraint would be a equation equal to minus 1, and for the variables say y1 and y2 both are unrestricted, because unrestricted in sign, because here both the constraint are given and as a equation, and if the constraint are equation type related variable would be a unrestricted in sign. So this is the problem of duality. How to convert how to solve any primal into the dual. Ultimately we cannot say any primal or dual, but the data given would be a primal, and when we convert it into a dual, it would be a dual problem. Because again when you convert this dual into the again dual, then it would be a primal, as dual of the dual would be primal. So sometimes it is very difficult to say any one problem as a primal or dual, but we will consider the given data as a primal of the problem. So this is called as a duality. And if we now look at the economic interpretation of the duality, now let us understand economic interpretation of duality. Economic interpretation of duality. Economic interpretation of duality. Let us try to understand with the very basic problem which we have seen earlier. Here this is the problem which we have studied earlier, which is the maximization z equal to 6x1 plus 5x2 and subjected to constraint x1 plus x2 less than or equal to 5. Then second constraint is less than or equal to 10, and both are x1 x2 greater than or equal to 0. This is the primal, and dual problem is minimize y equal to 5y1 plus 12y2 subjected to constraint y1 plus 3y2 greater than or equal to 6. Sorry, here y1 plus 2y2 greater than or equal to 5, and y1 y2 greater than or equal to 0. So here in this case this is the primal, this is the dual. Now what is the difference, or what is the economic interpretation of this primal and dual? Here in the first case, let's consider it is an case of production planning. Production planning, and this is the number of product A, this is the number of product of product B. This is the product A, this is the product B, and this is the profit coefficient of the product A, this is the profit coefficient of the product B, and this is the constraint of machine 1, and this is for machine 2. These both are constraint given here. Now in this case manager would think that by utilizing a particular resources of M1 and M2 they can get benefit, they can get the profit of 6 by producing a 1 unit of product A, and 5 unit of profit by producing a number of unit of product B. But when manager thinks, if I want to maximize the Z by allowing some more machines, let's say for the machine 1, if there are machine hours, if we increase the machine hours by a small value delta, then what would be the increment of this change into this optimization function or our profit margin? This is called the duality, or the effect of this increment or small increment into the objective function would be another problem, or would be a managerial decision that how we can maximize our profit by increasing a particular resources. So what will be the effect into the objective function by increasing 1 unit of restriction variable? It is called as a marginal value. Marginal value, or it is also called as a shadow price. It is also called as a shadow price. If we see the equation or mathematics, now the equation of marginal value or shadow price is change in optimal objective function value, change in optimal objective function value divided by unit change in the availability availability of resource. Availability of resource. So this is the marginal value or the shadow price. By adding one unit of particular resources, how much we get the additional profit or the additional increment into the objective function value. If the shadow price is negative, then it will indicate the net decrement or net decrease in the objective function value or objective function. If the shadow price is positive, then it will indicate net increase in the value of objective function. For the when there is a slack variable available, when there is a slack variable available, then it will indicate the marginal value or shadow price equal to 0. So there will be no shadow price of the slack variable. So this is the duality or the problem of duality, how to convert problem of primal into the dual, and what is the economic interpretation of this duality. It is nothing but the comparison of shadow price with the marginal value. Okay, thank you friends.